Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Priyendra Kumar and today we will learn Countif function in Microsoft Excel. We will learn the Countif function with the special conditions. So here I have taken few data points month wise calls. Okay. Now we have to answer these 6 questions by using the Excel formula. First question is count where calls are greater than 200 and less than 250. So we have to count the months which have greater than 200 calls and less than 250. Okay, so we will use the countif function here, but this question has two conditions. That is why we will use the countifs function. Countifs. So criteria range 1 will be V2 V13, comma criteria 1 is greater than 200, criteria range 2 will be the same V2 V13, and criteria 2 is less than 250. So we have got the answer 3. So there are 3 months which have the calls greater than 200 and less than 250. August, April and February. Okay, so let's move on to the next questions. Here we have to count the month which have 4 character length. Okay, so like April and April is have the 5 character, and June and July. Okay, so we will use the countif for the same countif, and the range will be A2 to A13, and the criteria we will give the question mark number of times. Here we have to count the 4 character length, that is why we will use 4 time question mark. So we have given the answer as 2. So we have 2 months, June and July. If I will use here 3 question mark, then I'll get the 1. So the month is May, which have only 3 character. Fine. So let's move on to the next question. Count the month which end with VER. So we will use the countif and the range of the month. Now we will use the asterisk sign as wildcard here, asterisk, and we can use the BER here. So we have to count the month which end with VER. So we have to count the month which end with, right? If I would say we have to count the month which start with, then we have to use the asterisk sign end of the criteria. So, but we have to count as end with, that is why we are using the asterisk sign before the criteria. Okay, let's close the bracket. We have got answer as 4. So there are 4 months: September, October, November and December. Okay, we also can check as change the criteria as ST, let's say. So we have got answer 1, which is August. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Count the month which contain EM in its name. Okay, so now we will use again the countif We will use Countif, and the range will be 8 to 813. And now we have to count where the contents, that is that is why we will use the asterisk sign both side, em, and just close this. So answer is 3. Let's check it. September, November and December has em. Okay, if I will use, let's say, any un for June, I have given the answer as 1 un. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which is little different. Count the month which with this background color, this background yellow. Okay, so now we have to count the month have which have the yellow background. So for this we have to create a function in VBA. I'm going to the developer tab, Visual Basics, or you can press Alt F11 also. I'm inserting a module here. Okay, now we will create a function here. Function, I'm putting the name of function as count if by color. Now giving the criteria as first of all the criteria, so criteria range I'm taking as R1 as range, then criteria which also will be a range, R2 as range. Okay, and the output type which will be a integer or a long. Okay, now here I'm taking dim x as long, dim cell as range. Okay, now I will put a condition here. X, I will use x as a counter, that is why I'm taking x equal to 0 first of all. Then I will use the for each loop here. For each cell in the criteria range which is R1. Next, now we will use a condition here. If cell dot interior color equal to the criteria color, which is criteria is R2 dot interior color, then x equal to x plus 1, and if. So now my output, which is Countif by color equal to x. Fine. So we will use application dot volatile to recalculate, auto recalculate the function. The function is completed. It is pretty simple. Let's use it. So here we will use the Countif by color which we have created. First of all, we will give the criteria range which is A2, A3 and the criteria. So we are giving this criteria. The answer is 2. So there are 2 months which has been highlighted in yellow color. So if I will change the color, let's say I'm taking So let's test this function. So I'm taking yellow color and putting on 3 months. Then my answer is 5. Fine. If I'm taking this color format and paste it here, then my answer is 4 because this color, so 4 month have this color. Okay. So let's move on to the next questions. Count the month which have bold font. So let's say if May have bold, June have bold, and August. So there are 3 months which have bold font. Okay. So now for counting the bold font, we also have to use a VBA to create a function again. But it would be the similar function. So I'm going to the developer tab and the VBA. It will be the same function, only one condition will be changed. That is why I'm copying this data and inserting another module and pasting the same data. I will just change the function name as bold, countif by bold. Okay, the same thing I will use here. The only this condition will be changed. I will use if cell dot font dot bold equal to true, then fine. Here we will also change the name of the function as we have taken above as countif by bold. The rest would be the same. Let's check it here. Countif by bold, or you can give any other name whatever you want to give it, and the criteria sorry, the range basically. So we also have to change a basic thing, which is the input type. We don't need to the criteria here, right? So we will remove this. We'll take only R1 as range. Now let's check countif by bold. Now we just give the range. So it will give you the count of the bold. So there are 3 months which has been highlighted in bold. If I will highlight July also, and if I will recalculate the function, go to the formula and click calculate now, or you can press F9. The answer is 4. So this is working. So friends, that is why you can use the function in Microsoft Excel by using the VBA. Thank you so much for the watching.